My family's birthday ritual put me alone in the basement with a candle. Then I found missing kids. I was 13 when my grandpa sat me down and explained the Whitmore family tradition. On your 13th birthday, you go into the basement alone with one candle. You light it. You sit with no phone and no flashlight, and you wait until the candle burns out. He told me my dad did it. He did it. My cousins did it, and they were all fine. My brother Jake had done it 2 years earlier and just shrugged when I asked. Boring. 3 hours tops, he said. Candle dies, you come up. Big deal. So when my birthday came, I wasn't scared. Our basement was normal. My family stayed upstairs for dinner while I went down the steps with a single white candle and a lighter. I shut off the overhead bulb like they told me, sat cross-legged on the cold floor, and lit the wick. The little flame pushed a soft circle of light across the floor and made jumpy shadows on the walls. Then the air changed. It went cold in a way that didn't fit July. I watched my breath fog and told myself I was imagining it. A whisper brushed my ear. I froze. At first I thought it was the TV upstairs, but this was right beside me. Too close, too soft. Another whisper slid past my other ear. Just breath. No words I could grab. I told myself it was part of the ritual, and I should act brave like Jake. Something tapped 3 times behind the water heater. It was light, like knuckles on metal, and then there were 3 more. I stared into that dark corner. The tapping grew steady, a little faster, not loud but urgent. A boy's voice came from the dark, plain and close. Don't trust them. I jerked and almost dropped the candle. Warm wax slid over my fingers. They lied to you, the voice said. It's not about ancestors. Get out before it's your turn. My mouth went dry. You wait. The flame narrowed and tunneled and threw long bars of light across the floor. Then a sound like fingernails dragged across concrete scraped from that same spot. I stared until my eyes burned. The circle of light shrank to a coin. The candle went dark. I grabbed the rail and took the stairs 2 at a time. I burst into the living room. My family looked up from the TV and smiled like I'd passed a test. Mom hugged me. Dad ruffled my hair. Grandpa asked if I heard anything or learned anything. I said I sat and thought about family like they told me. They nodded too quickly. That night I stared at my ceiling and heard the cold voices again. Look behind the furnace. I went back down with a flashlight and a flathead screwdriver. The basement smelled like wet dust. I slid sideways between the furnace and the wall and scraped my shoulder on the duct. The beam cut through cobwebs. A brick near the floor was loose. I worked the screwdriver under it and pulled until my wrist ached and the brick came free. I reached in and felt paper and something stiff like cardboard. I pulled out a stack of old Polaroids. Kids looked back at me, 1 per photo, each around my age, each holding a white candle. None of them were people I knew. They looked like family, but I had never seen those faces at reunions or on the wall. At the bottom was a folded newspaper clipping from 1976. The headline said a local boy vanished after a family birthday ritual. The name was Jason Whitmore, age 13, missing from a basement during what relatives called a coming-of-age ceremony. I kept digging and found clippings from 1983 and 1991 with the same pattern. A teen goes down for a birthday ritual and is never seen again. The last one was from 1998, about a girl named Rebecca Whitmore. The photo was grainy, but the face looked like my cousin Sarah when she was 13. Sarah is 25 now and alive. That evening after dinner, I set the stack on the coffee table in front of my parents and Grandpa. What is this? I asked. Mom's laugh came out thin, and she told me not to play with old junk from the basement. I spread the photos face up. The color drained from her face. Dad sat down slowly like his knees hurt. Grandpa didn't sit. He stared at the clipping from 1976 and pressed his thumb into the paper until it creased. How many went down and didn't come up? Dad's voice was small. 7 over the years. Mom covered her mouth and shook her head. Where did they go? I asked. We don't know, Dad said. It's always been the same. The candle, the waiting. Most kids come up, some don't. Mom said it was supposed to be harmless, just sitting in the dark and thinking. And you kept doing it, I said. We told ourselves it was bad luck, Dad said. We told ourselves they ran away. We couldn't accept that the tradition was the problem. I put my hand on the stack so the photos wouldn't shake. It stops now, I said. Nobody moved. I walked to the basement door, turned the deadbolt, and put the key in my pocket. It stops now, I said again. Mom nodded once, eyes red. Dad didn't argue. Now my family are saying I ruined our tradition. Was I wrong for